Good morning, Santa Clarita. Hello, good morning. It's going to be a warm one. Welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson, your host. It is good to have you. Yeah, it's going to be a warm one out there. Summer is really revving up, and it's going to be a great one. I know it's going to be a different one. It's going to be an interesting one. We'll see how it rolls, but you know, some things are back on the table. In fact, we'll be talking a little bit today about what's back on the table for summer. This special edition of Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers is brought to you by KHTS in collaboration with SCVi and iLEAD schools. We come to you live each day at 9 a.m. providing support and updates for you on your distance learning journey. We're here to support you with all your educational needs, community updates, insights, and every once in a while we'll bat the ball around, have a little bit of fun. We are also here supporting you with curriculum support. We've got our website that we put up. We put it up pretty quickly after school campuses shut down. As we anticipated, there's been a lot of companies out there that have provided free support, whether they had pay platforms before that they've now made available to us for free for a few months, or they've always been free and they've just ramped up their marketing or ramped up their services. But there's a ton of resources out there. They can be hard to weed through. But on our website, homeschoolinganswers.com, we do a lot of the weeding for you. And we sort a lot of the resources by grade level, and we also sort by subject area, kind of a cross matrix there. So why don't you head on over to that website, take a look around. If you've got needs for you and your kids, like I said, we've got curriculum support, we've got parent support, parent tips and advice. There's some entertaining videos, some really cool things on the Maker Learning channel. There's all kinds of resources for you. While you listen to the show today, why don't you poke around at homeschoolinganswers.com. Homeschooling, don't forget the gerund, the ing, homeschoolinganswers.com. And take a look at what we got there. If there's something you find that you need that we don't have, or if you don't know what you need, but you know that we don't have it, shoot me an email. Let me know what you need or what you're struggling with, what it is that's vexing you, what it is that is confounding you, what you're struggling most with. Even if you're 100% positive that we can't help you, send us a line. We can at least send you some support, some compassionate, empathetic words, and who knows, we might have a resource for that. Shoot me an email at homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org, homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org, and we'll get back to you right away, and hopefully we'll be able to help you out. We've got another big show today. We are talking summertime. The summer is coming up on the horizon. You can see the little heat lines coming up on the highway there. We just passed our unofficial beginning of summer back last weekend with the Memorial Day weekend. The temperatures are heating up, and folks are looking forward to June and July. So we're going to be talking about Track C and school that starts in July. You know, some of our families like their kids taking courses in the summertime, and we'll also be talking about summer camp as well. That's right. Summer has not been canceled. It is coming. It's barreling down on us. We'll be talking with Allison Bravo and Rigo Ortega in just about a minute or so. They are from iLEAD Online, and they're going to be talking about your options for school this summer, as well as Myles McNamara. We're going to be talking with him. He's from Comfort Keepers in-home care. Do you know Myles? He is taking care of our seniors out there who are still living independently but need a little bit of support. So we'll have Myles coming up on that second hour. And, of course, we'll be wrapping the show like we always do, taking care of us, putting on our own masks first, because if we don't have our mask on, we can't help others with their masks. Christina is a licensed marriage and family therapist who's going to be helping us with dealing with our traumas and our difficulty during this time, so we'll look forward to that. Let's go ahead and get right into it. My first two guests today come from iLEAD Online Virtual Charter School. Fully online charter school, fully accredited, fully certified by the NCAA, and man, you've never seen an online school that is as hands-on and is interested in how your kids are growing and learning as iLEAD Online. First, we've got Allison Bravo. She started out by taking several distance courses herself before online courses were ever a thing. She thought that snail mail, the old stick a stamp on it and send the curriculum through the mail was a ridiculous way to learn. So in just her third year as a teacher, she stepped out and took the opportunity to write an online history course for her school. And now 10 years later, almost 11 years later, she still loves online teaching and authentic, real-world, but virtual learning. Our world is a virtual reality, and Allison is taking high-quality, authentic education deep into this 21st century. Allison founded Empower Generations, which is a public charter school for pregnant and parenting teens, and served as its leader for 2 years. They're doing amazing things. We've talked about Empower quite a bit on our show. Allison is now the program coordinator for iLEAD Online, and she loves exploring how to create cool working and learning environments for virtual programs that still don't sacrifice the true essence of teaching and learning. Allison and her husband have 3 beautiful kids and an even more beautiful British bulldog. He's a French bulldog, not a British bulldog. Sorry, didn't mean to offend. She's passionate about yoga, nature, gardening, cooking, and helping the world be a better place. She is the possibility to my practicality. She is the yin to my yang. She is the what if to my what about. She is iLEAD School's go-to online learning expert with a team that takes second to none. And speaking of that team, a man that I've been trying to get on the radio for years, and as soon as you hear his voice, you will see why. His name is Rigoberto Ortega, but you can call him Rigo. He was born and raised right here in sunny Southern California. He's the embodiment of grit and motivation in an individual, setting goal after goal like bowling pins and then knocking them down. He's got his BA in psychology from the University of Phoenix and recently finished his master's in aging services and management at USC. He may want to stick around and talk to Myles a little bit later on today. He has worked closely with students in after-school programs like LA's Best, Woodcraft Rangers, Kearney Educational Services, and the Youth Policy Institute. He has a passion for continued growth and learning as a way to prepare himself for the future as well as preparing others. He enjoys spending quality time with his family, which includes various pets. He loves traveling and learning new things every day. He currently serves as iLEAD Online's business manager. Allison and Rigo, welcome to the show. Welcome in.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Good morning to everyone out there. I'll tell you that as well.
How you guys doing today? You doing well, Allison?
I'm good. Thanks, Matt. It's so great to be back on.
Oh, it's good to have you guys. So first, before we really get deep into what Track C is and the things that you guys are going to be doing this July with your current students as well as your accepting new students, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your roles with iLEAD Online? Allison, we mentioned that you're the program coordinator. Rigo, we'll get to you in just a second. Allison, what do you do for iLEAD Online?
I am, like you said, a program coordinator, which is an administrator who does a little bit of everything. So I help support our staff and recruit new staff. I help with program growth and development so that our course catalog continues to grow and evolve, to be able to offer something for everyone. I help support parents as they transition to virtual learning and get going there, and I support learners. So I dabble in a little bit of everything, and at the heart of it, I'm really just here to support and help things flow smoothly for the school.
And as I mentioned in your intro, you've got some amazing ideas. You're constantly pushing the envelope, and that is just so exciting. You know, guys like me can get scared by that, but you're really creating exciting things for kids. What about you, Rigo? What's your role with iLEAD Online?
So I've been doing their business and marketing. So mainly also helping out, like Allison's saying, with A through Z, everything having to do with our groundwork for our school, our background, all our office team, just supporting them, and then making sure that we're top notch out there with everything that we facilitate for all our kids and everyone out there. So mainly as of recent, I was going to conferences to promote our school, but since that has stopped with everything that's going on, I've been doing it from home now, and it's been awesome creating those relationships with different schools, with different programs, and just putting our school out there, which is the most important thing also.
Yeah, I was curious, Rigo. I know you do a lot of stuff to keep our online platform uh, out there in the public eye, and you keep all our business P's and Q's straightened away. Do you teach any courses, or you stay strictly in the business office?
Yeah, and that was awesome that you asked me that because I would be open in the future for something like that for sure. So it's beautiful to be the part of the program that we are and everything that we're doing for everyone that's in need of us right now, right? Especially during this time.
With your spirit of grit and tenacity, you've got a lot to offer our students. Did you hear that, Allison? He's open to teaching, so make sure that we get him on board here real soon. Rigo, why don't you tell us a little bit about iLEAD Online? Um, when did the school open? How many learners do you serve? What ages? Can you tell our listeners kind of the nuts and bolts of the school?
So yes, we've been around since 2015 to 2015. Um, but officially opened up our school in 2017. We serve a total of right now full-time learners of about 200 full-time learners, and we're constantly growing as well. We operate from, we have two different tracks. We have track A and track C. Track A starts in August, and track C starts in July. And we like I said again, we're out there for all that are in need right now. For always a need for online programming and long distance learning, right? And we're the primary care ones for that as well, since we've been around for a while already. So we have a lot of experience under our belt, and that's what we're here for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned that you started in 2015, but you kind of officially came online in 2017. I just want to clarify, iLEAD Online started as an online vendor, kind of supporting other high schools in what they do. Oftentimes smaller high schools can only offer certain courses. I remember when SCVi was still a little bit smaller than they are now. It was tough to offer multiple, for example, foreign languages, and our learners wanted to take Japanese or American Sign Language. So we started using iLEAD Online as a vendor because we couldn't afford to hire a full-time teacher. But then in 2017, you guys became fully accredited as your own online charter school. You mentioned, wow, you've got 200 full-time learners, 200 full-time students that are enrolled, which means you are their school. Rigo, what ages do you guys serve? Is this just high school?
No, not at all. We're K through 12. We're working on our curriculum this summer. It would be our adventure curriculum, and that would be for kinder to second graders, kinder to fourth graders. But that's where we're going to be integrating our other grades that were not there this last year, which would be K through third grade. We would be integrating them this summer.
Wow, so you guys have been authorized to serve kindergarten through 12th grade. You've got kids currently working 3rd through 12th grade. I believe you said you're opening kinder through 2nd next year. That's amazing. I wanted to ask you guys, and I'm sorry to kind of interrupt here. Is one of you maybe on speakerphone? We're getting a bit of an echo here, and it's tough for our listeners on the radio.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's fine. I think that sounds a little bit better. Very cool. So you guys are going to be working starting next year with kindergarten through 12th grade. I want to ask Allison in just a minute how that works with kindergartners, kids that young working in a full online school. Allison, tell us a little bit more about the premise on which iLEAD Online was founded. It was basically the idea that before iLEAD Online came along, we had some online schools, but they were more what my boss calls canned curriculum or canned courses, these click-through programs, read the passages, click A through B, A, B, C, D, and then move on. What makes your program more unique, Allison?
That's a great question, and I've been in online learning for a really long time, and so it's been really great to see online learning evolve from basically a digital textbook in which content was delivered to now a more interactive experience for learners. But I think what iLEAD Online is doing is taking online learning into like a third or fourth dimension of what online learning can be. And that's that, yes, the computer is important in online learning, but it's not the end-all, be-all. We want learners to go into their homes, their communities, their backyards, wherever they are into their real life and apply the things that they're getting from the online delivery service so that learning is active, it solves a problem, it's hands-on, it's relevant, and it's truly personalized. And in order to do that, you really have to have a staff of really passionate, skilled, and open-minded educators. And we have the best staff. And we have a very experienced staff in terms of online learning, because classroom teaching and online facilitation are two different skill sets. And so we really hired this amazing staff who are skilled at creating their own curriculum or taking the best of what's in the internet or on the internet in the online world and using it wisely so that learners have a variety of sources to best serve their own learning needs. And because our courses are created in-house, it's easier for us to adapt them, to change them, to update them. For example, our pre-calculus teacher has the most amazing pandemic pre-calculus math unit that I don't understand because I'm not a math teacher, but it's in there, right? So that the learning becomes very flexible and adaptable. And I think that that's what makes us different, is that active hands-on piece, and that we're really able to shift quickly to be on the cutting edge of what online learning can and should be.
You know, when I was working as an administrator at SCVi, for me, the way I thought of online learning before you guys came along was that it was teaching without the human interaction. You know, it was a class without a teacher. And, you know, especially for some of our kids that needed to make up some credits, that worked okay. Now, I don't want to misattribute the quote, but I do think it was one of our learners at SCVi, Adam Simpson, who was telling us on the air a while back. He says, you know what, Mr. Watson, learning is it's a social activity. It's something that we do between people. And so when I think of online learning, I just loved the idea that you and some of the other leaders at iLEAD Online kind of threw in the face of that old notion that online learning is learning without the humans, right? And said, why does it have to be that way? It's that human interaction that makes the learning real. And so one of the things that impressed me most when you guys came along is that some of my learners at SCVi were saying, wow, I'm getting a lot more attention. I'm getting a lot more one-on-one interaction in my online course than I'm even getting in some of my seat-based courses, which was just really exciting. And then, of course, you guys ramp it up and added project-based learning and are doing some incredibly deep stuff. I want to continue talking about what you guys are doing at iLEAD Online and specifically what you guys are offering here in July. But we need to go to a quick break. We will be talking when we come back, Track C programs this July with iLEAD Online. We're here with Allison Bravo and Rigo Ortega from iLEAD Online. Like I said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be back. You are listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
Have you ever been in the middle of cooking on your barbecue and ran out of propane? It can be so frustrating. Don't ever run out of propane again. Call Plumbing by Kirk to set up your free estimate. Find out if your barbecue can be retrofitted to hook up to natural gas. Plumbing by Kirk can assess your situation for options to hook up your natural gas line so that you'll never run out of gas in the middle of cooking again. Give us a call, 263-6519, 263-6519, or go online at plumbingbykirk.com.
My dad is the best plumber ever. Call Plumbing by Kirk.
When you're looking for a midnight snack, sometimes fast food just doesn't cut it. California Bakery and Cafe is open 24/7, so you'll be able to find fresh donuts, danishes, bagels, all-natural fruit juices, gourmet sandwiches, and much more at any hour. With elaborate cakes for any occasion, including weddings, baptisms, anniversaries, corporate events, or any special event. California Bakery and Cafe in Santa Clarita is open 24 hours to satisfy any craving, anytime. Call us, 255-1254. That's 255-1254.
Traffic brought to you by Frontier Toyota. Frontier Toyota reminds you to drive safely. Shop from home at frontiertoyota.com or visit their showroom on Valencia and Creekside. See their all-new, hot and exciting 2020 Toyota Camry. Frontier Toyota, the Camry Kings.
Did you hear this? A Royal Suite Home Furnishings. Their Memorial Day sale was so big, they had to extend it all the way through Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday. Save 56% throughout the store on mattresses, dining sets, sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom sets, kids' furniture, and more. Take advantage of convenient curbside pickup. For over 40 years, Royal Sweet Home Furnishings has supported the Santa Clarita community. Now it's our turn to shop local, all while saving 56%. Visit today for convenient curbside pickup at a Royal Sweet Home Furnishings near Sam's Club. David Cantrell and Fred Arnold of American Family Funding joined KHTS to discuss and shed some light on how the coronavirus impacts Santa Clarita residents financially.
Okay, so Fred, people are sheltering in place or just staying home, but they're thinking about interest rates and they're thinking about their own mortgages. What can they do right now?
You're probably one of the $11 trillion in loans out there, mortgage loans out there. Half of them could easily refinance because interest rates have dropped rather dramatically. As rates have gone up just a little bit in the short term, call your mortgage professional right away, your community mortgage professional, and do a quick interview, do a quick analysis. When interest rates get to here, or here, does it make sense to refinance? Does it make sense to take cash out to cover some debt, to cover some college funds? Prepare for the future, because the future is going to get better without a doubt, number one. Some do it online, and we do have an application where you can do it all online. So if your mortgage professional is busy, ask them, do you have an application online? But it's no substitute to have a one-on-one conversation with your professional. Does it make sense to refinance? So that's the first thing you could do. The second thing is prepare your paperwork. Get your taxes completed. Know where your W-2s are. Know where your financial documents are. During these challenging economic times of uncertainty, if you, instead of cleaning out your closet, maybe clean out your financial records and know where everything is.
Right.
That would be very, very helpful. And last but not least, Dave, when you send information to your mortgage professional, make sure they send a secure link to send documents back so that the information, your private information, is not compromised.
Absolutely. That's very, very important. And we do have that link here in American Family Funding where it comes over encrypted and completely safe. So.
Absolutely. And just give us a call, or your mortgage professional will get that done.
Right.
The City of Santa Clarita is working closely with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health to monitor the coronavirus COVID-19. On March 13th, the City of Santa Clarita issued a local emergency declaration in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Due to the stay-at-home order, the Santa Clarita events like Thursdays at Newhall and the Cowboy Festival have been put on hold for the safety of the community. For information, go to santa-clarita.com. For important updates, visit the emergency blog at santaclaritaemergency.com.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers with Matt Watson. We're talking this morning about, we'll be getting into it in just a second, Track C. That is that track that starts here in the summer, early July. Track C programs with Allison Bravo and Rigo Ortega from iLEAD Online. Rigo and Allison, thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. We were talking before the break about how you guys work to deliver a fully online program, courses that can be taken at any time from anywhere, but that still has that close human touch, that has not only a teacher or a facilitator, but an academic coach behind them working very closely with your learners. Rigo, tell me, do you offer the same types of classes that a typical site would, or is this more just some of those courses that kids need to make up along the way?
No, not at all. We offer a wide expansion of courses. I would even say some of the courses that are not offered at a traditional base school also. So some of them that we've integrated that we have for grades like two and three. We have like Junk Debunked, a journey is transforming trash and natural materials into treasure. We have something for grades 4 and 5 called Take Me to Your Leader, the study and design of planets. We have something for grades 6 and 7 called Kapow, what makes a superhero. And we have something for grades 7 and 8, Be the Change, young citizens developing community action skills. And those are some of the courses that we offer for elementary school. And then for high school, we're offering most of our courses that we offer during our regular ed. We offer them during our Track C as well.
Okay, so you're talking about a full battery of English, math, science, history, foreign language, arts, electives, all those things that would be offered during that traditional school calendar. You're also offering during that Track C that starts again here coming up really soon. Allison, so I want to skip ahead a little bit. I want to get into Track C and what it is all about. You were very clear about clarifying with me before we got started this morning that it's not necessarily summer school. So can you tell us what Track C is and give us a little bit of detail?
Sure. So as a free public charter school, we have 2 academic calendars that are approved by our board of directors. One happens to start in July and one happens to start mid-August. So for families who want to get a jump start on learning or need to temporarily enroll with us, like you said, to maybe make up credits or take a class that's not offered on their traditional campus, then a July start makes most sense for those families who are eager to kind of get started on the 2020-2021 school year. But it's free. It's open to any resident of Southern California, and it's, again, fully accredited and a comprehensive program.
Wow, so I want to highlight that. You said it's free. It's a public school. You guys are a public school, free to any age learner, like you said, from kindergarten through 12th grade. Rigo talked about some of the amazing courses that you're offering at the elementary school level, perfect for kind of those summer months as kids are looking to get into some interesting projects that'll tap their curiosity. And so who typically enrolls during this time of as Track C's coming online? Is it more, do you have kids coming on temporarily, or do you have kids coming on for an entire school year just starting in July?
We have both. We have families who are welcome to enroll with us for as long as they feel they need. Again, we're a free public charter school. It's a parent's right to enroll and disenroll whenever they feel they need to. And then we have learners who stay on for the full 175 days of learning throughout the school year. Our courses are accelerated on Track C, so they focus on 1 or 2 courses at a time at a more intensive rate, especially for our high schoolers. And a lot of high schoolers and middle schoolers find that this is actually the way that they learn best, to do kind of like a work sprint or a work burst on one academic subject at a time, or maybe 1 or 2 subjects at a time, to really dive fully into that subject, be complete with that credit, and then move on to the next set of subjects. So we offer an accelerated pacing guide that chunks courses into, 6 or 8 week sessions to complete.
I think I would have been one of those learners in high school, rather than focusing on 6 subjects over the course of 4 months, to do 2 subjects at a time over the course of 1 month, focus on it heavy, get it out of the way, move on to my next 2 subjects. That would have been a great way for me to study. So what are the dates for Track C? What date in July do you guys start? When is the enrollment cutoff? What are some of these deadlines that families have to meet if they're looking at, like you said, maybe toying with the idea of moving to full online learning, or maybe just as a way to get caught up or get ahead on a couple of courses? So
I'm going to let Rigo take that one because he's my master organizer here.
Perfect. So Rigo, what's the cutoff to enroll? When do we have to sign up by? And then when would courses start for Track C?
So classes start for Track C start July 1st. The cutoff for enrollment, I would say it would be in May, but you could still enroll during July as well. It's not something that if we still have students that are going to drop in for July, like the first week of July, that might still be registering. That still would be all right. But we're trying to get everybody in before June for sure.
gosh, in every aspect, it sounds just like every other public school. At SCVi, we like to have our kids enrolled by August 1st, so that when classes start in middle to late August, that everybody's online, everybody's assigned to a class. But if you show up that first day of school, that first week of school, we've still got space for you. Come on in. Same thing with you guys, huh? You like to get everybody enrolled by June 1st, but if families decide a little bit later, as long as you guys have spots. Do you guys have an unlimited amount of spots, or is there a limit, Rigo?
So we are capping off. We're trying to cap off at about 400 to 500 learners.
Okay.
So if we do get to that before the July start date, then we would have to cap it off. Just stop it there. But we're hoping that we have spots open for as many learners that want to sign up, for sure, that need the extra help and everything.
Sure, you want to serve everybody that's interested. So it sounds like the hardest date that people are up against is more that enrollment cap. You want to make sure that you get in before you guys hit that cap. So if our listeners are interested, Rigo, how do they enroll? What would they do? Do you have a website you can share, or is there a phone number to call?
Yeah, of course. We have our website, www.ileadonline.org, and you can just go on there and click on enrollment, enroll now, and just go to our track C option.
Okay.
And what you'll do there is that you'll fill out an intent to enroll, and one of our office members will reach out to you and give you instructions on what to do next. To follow the instructions to be able to get the courses that you need.
Okay, so I'm on your website right now, and I clicked on the Track C button, and I see a lot of the courses that you were talking about. These look really interesting. And then at the bottom of the page, it says visit our enrollment wizard here. That's where I click?
That's correct, yes.
Fantastic. Yep. And then now, let's say I'm on the fence, okay? I'm not sure. My kids have enjoyed being home during this stay-at-home order. They've enjoyed learning at home. I'm not sure if I can handle it full-time, but iLEAD Online might be the option for me. But I'm not sure. Is there somebody that I can talk to? Is that enrollment wizard going to be someone that I can have answer some of my questions for me?
So no, we actually we'll give you a call back if you have any type of questions regarding our courses, regarding something that you're on the fence about. We have people that will give you a call back and will talk you through anything like that.
Okay.
And would help out. We're just giving a better explanation of what's going to happen in the actual course, and probably even an overview of the syllabi.
Okay, so go ahead and click on the enrollment wizard and start filling out the paperwork, and then there's a space for me to indicate that I want to talk to somebody and pick their brain a little bit before I pull the trigger and fully commit. Now, Allison, I understand that not only are you guys accepting learners right now, you are looking for a staff member, a very specific staff member, somebody with a particular set of skills, if you will. What are you looking for?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, relationships and humans are kind of the key ingredient to our success here. And we've been on the hunt for an expert and creative video game design facilitator for quite a while now. And I think they're all really busy because the video game industry is thriving and new, and I'm watching esports on ESPN.
Right, because that's all we
y'all
got.
Are busy, but for those that have a heart and want to nurture this next generation of video game designers and esports enthusiasts, we would sure appreciate an application. And you can visit our website, ileadonline.org, and go ahead and get going with one of our amazing administrators, and we can walk you through that. We have a audition process that's quite fun. So if you are a video game designer and you would like to teach online high school next year, please let us know.
So let's get a couple of those questions off the table real quick. First of all, if I am a video game designer and I think I can teach some kids how to do that, do I need a teaching credential in order to join you?
That's a good question. So we have a career and technical education program, which is thriving and we're really proud of, and something that we've been developing over the last couple of years here. And yes, because we are a public school and we do value education and credentialing, you will eventually need to be able to get a CTE credential. We are also incredibly skilled at walking industry experts who have at least 5 years of experience in their industry through that credentialing process.
Okay, so I don't need to have one now, but you're going to help me get one. Now, I've also got a pretty full-time job as it is, and maybe I'm looking for something a little extra. Are you looking for somebody full-time, or is this more of a part-time kind of thing that I can do while I'm working my full-time job?
Yeah, good question. Thanks, Matt. This is a part-time to start position, and we start most of our facilitators like that. And most often what happens is kids take your class and they love it and they tell your friends about it, and pretty soon you've got a pretty full schedule of classes and students. So it could be part-time and it could eventually grow to full-time, but this is definitely something that's flexible and doable on your time outside of your regular job.
Wow, fantastic. And one more time, I just want to underline, you guys are a free public school, so you're open. You've got no district boundaries other than the Southern California region. You're open to any student, kindergarten through 12th grade in the Southern California area. And it is a fully personalized curriculum. It's not a canned curriculum. With each course, you're going to get a credentialed facilitator. In some cases, like those elective courses, like you said, they may be working on their credential, but a fully supported, fully credentialed staff. You're a fully credited school. This is a high-quality public school experience just taken out of the building and put online. Is there anything else that you guys can share before we go?
That was actually beautiful. Everything.
All right, I nailed it.
You got it, Matt.
Rock on. So log on to iLEADonline.org for your Track C starting July 1st. Love that. If you're looking to get a couple of courses knocked out during these summer months, you can enroll in Track C, and then in August head back to the school that you were previously enrolled in, or you can continue on with us throughout the course of the school year. Allison and Rigo, we appreciate you joining us today. Appreciate everything that you guys are doing for our kids, making sure that that they are getting what they need during this time of distance learning and well beyond. We've got to take a quick commercial break, but we will be back with more from SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Lots of people can build websites, but there's one Santa Clarita company that specializes in designing websites for your business, Small Dog Creative. The Small Dog Creative team is made up of local designers who are hands-on. Their talented team of experts build premium websites and redefine branding. Small Dog Creative doesn't just build websites. They'll upgrade your business's online presence and turn your business into a powerful online brand. Small Dog Creative, Santa Clarita's most innovative web and design company. SmallDogCreative.com.
Hi, this is Bob Schertz with the Way Out Recovery SCV, reminding you that during these unprecedented times, addiction and mental health do not take a break. If you or someone you love are struggling, please give us a call at 661-296-4444. We are open and here to help you during this time. Thanks.
When your child learns who they are, they can take on anything that life throws their way. That's the focus of iLEAD Agua Dulce, a tuition-free charter school just off the 14 freeway in the East Santa Clarita Valley. We believe in learning through cooperation, creativity, and emotional growth. Our rapidly expanding TK through 8 campus places self-discovery at the core of every experience, from an outdoor science lab to our greenhouse and technology-rich exploratorium. For enrollment information, including grade 7 enrollment starting this fall and homeschool options, visit iLEADAguadulce.org.
Why did Mercedes-Benz of Valencia win the Dealer of Excellence Award in 2019?
Because we strive to provide the most outstanding sales experience.
Mercedes-Benz of Valencia COO Chris Paz.
We know you have high expectations. Our stellar team will meet and exceed your expectations. That's why we were named Mercedes Best of the Best, placing us in the top 10% of all Mercedes dealers nationwide.
Find out how you can lease a new Mercedes for unbelievably low monthly payments. Details at mbzvalencia.com.
I never thought I'd be looking for an assisted living home until Mom got sick. Suddenly, there were questions that I didn't have answers to and only limited time to find the answers. What facility could take the best care of Mom? Then my mother's social worker gave me a brochure for assisted living locators and informed me that assisted living locators is recommended by more healthcare professionals than any other agency.
Call Shannon at Assisted Living Locators, 544-1004. That's 544-1004.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. You know, we just wrapped up with Allison and Rigo from iLEAD Online, and they've got, like I said, a fully accredited online charter school. They've got over 200 kids enrolled full-time, and they are offering Track C courses that start here in the summer. And your kids can take a couple of courses in July, or if they've got time for it, a couple of courses in August. They can stay on full-time, do what they need. I know a lot of families are looking forward to the summer and what we're going to do this summer. You know, some families we're looking forward to summer school. I know our local district is also offering online summer classes. Again, iLEAD Online is offering that Track C as well. And some of you weren't looking for summer school options, but you send your kids to summer camp. And whether it's a day camp or a sleepaway camp, you're thinking, well, that's off the table this year, isn't it? Well, yes and no. Because, you know, there are, just like the rest of us, there are plenty of summer camps out there who are pivoting. They are shifting. And take a look. I'm posting right now on the Facebook live feed. If you head on over to Facebook and go to KHTS Radio, you will see the link that I just posted. There are some summer school programs still out there for your kids. Yes, they are virtual, but just posted an article from Parents Magazine on the feed there. It's kind of interesting. It's a little bit of a misleading headline. It says, 10 free virtual summer camps your kids will love. And I read through these over the weekend. I do think your kids will love them, depending on their interest. But I think it's 10 virtual summer camps that your kids will love, most of which are free. There's a couple of them here that do have a cost, but there's a STEAM, Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math camp program, Camp Wonderopolis, that gets into some really exciting things like why does slime feel gooey, how does a crane work, things like that. There's the Museum of Contemporary Art of North Miami is offering a summer camp via Zoom where families can participate in an arts summer camp. So it does require some supplies that you would have to pick up on your own, but this is designed for kids 6 through 13 that enjoy mixed media, painting, drawing, textile art classes, things like that, all through Zoom. There's Camp Super Now for kids 5 to 11 years old, where they actually get to join a virtual cabin. I remember going off to summer camp, and I was in cabin 4. I remember being in cabin 4, and got to be honest, my camp counselor was a little creepy, Shane. But we with a virtual summer camp and a virtual cabin, you take the creepiness out of there. And so check out Camp Super Now. They've got the counselors there that will help campers across the country with an hour of crafts and activities, again, all on Zoom. Each session lasts 2 weeks. This is one of the ones that does have a cost to it, though. Obviously, you start adding people that need salaries and things like that, and it does have a cost. There's Camp Varsity Tutors, where this is a little bit more of a summer school class now, right? Your kids can learn a new language, solve brain teasers, and even practice their creative writing. So be working with tutors. That one, it looks like it is free. Pbs Kids is offering a summer school activity. You head to Pbs Kids for Parents and it's a site that offers free age-by-age tips for crafts, games, activities, things like that throughout the summer. Pbs Kids always offers some really great ideas. There's a do-it-yourself summer camp, so kids can build their DIY abilities, whether it's in photography or if they enjoy Lego or two-dimensional drawing. They've got something called a drawing boot camp, which sounds fun. I picture a drill instructor leaning over me as I've got my pencil to paper, just hollering at me to draw. I'm sure it's something a little bit more friendly than that, though. But again, yeah, they've got a tech summer camp. I know those have really grown quite a bit in popularity, and over the last couple of years, kids going to a coding camp or a programming camp and things like that. Well, ID Tech has virtual classes that might be right up your alley. They're classes that are mostly for kids 7 and up, but if we were talking to Jason Gibbs yesterday, and he talked about his 6-year-old that was really advanced. So his 6-year-old may enjoy this, but generally for kids 7 and up, they teach computer animation, app building, and your kid can even learn how to design for Minecraft, which is really cool. My son a couple years back showed me all the different hacks that you can do in Minecraft that are really fun. You can take a fun game and make it a lot funner. Funner? More fun? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to ask my summer school counselor which one is correct. There's reading rockets where you're going deep into literacy. So there are plenty of options out there. If you're looking for classes, you can head on over to iLEADonline.org. They're offering that Track C that starts July 1st. They're enrolling now. If you're looking for summer camps, again, most, if not all of them, are going to be virtual this year. So sorry, Mom and Dad, your kids are still going to be with you, but we do have those summer camps available, virtual summer camps. So go ahead and head on over to our Facebook Live feed at KHTS Radio on Facebook and click on that link there, or just head on over to Parents Magazine and you'll find the article there. Well, we do need to cut out to check for local and national news stories and the latest updates right now. But stick around. When we come back, we're going to be joined by our friend Myles McNamara. He's coming in to discuss how he and his team at Comfort Keepers in-home care are taking care of their senior clients during this time. And for more information on how COVID-19 is affecting our valley, go to hometownstation.com and click on the red banner. There you'll find tips on the economy, health updates, special business hours, and much, much more. You are listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers with your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Yes, Dunkin' is open. The continued stay-at-home orders have been rough on all of us, but Dunkin' is trying to make things just a little bit better. There are many ways to get your Dunkin' fix. You can carry out at both locations, or you can drive through at Canyon Country, or get curbside service at the Bouquet Canyon Dunkin'. Both offer Grubhub and Postmates delivery and are open till 6 p.m. Don't forget, use your Dunkin' app for on the go to order, pay, and accumulate points. Dunkin' cares about the SCV.
I'm Matt Denny, CPA, with Denny & Company, LLP, your hometown CPAs. Here are some tips to help you with anxiety you may have about your income tax returns for 2019. The deadlines for filing both state and federal returns have been extended to July 15th. Both the state and the feds are also extending the time for making 2019 tax payments otherwise due, without interest or penalty, to July 15th. These details keep changing, so contact us at 661-286-8860 or see our website at dennyllp.com.
California Credit Union, the only credit union in Santa Clarita focused on our educational community. California Credit Union offers low rates on loans for personal and business services, along with financial services for teachers, students, staff, and families. Free checking and very low new and used auto loan rates.
California Credit Union, your personal credit union, located in the River Oak Shopping Center next to Target.
Visit us and open an account today. Insured by NCUA, an agency of the federal government.
KHTS, AM 1220 and 98.1 FM Santa Clarita. It's 10 o'clock. Time for national news on KHTS.
Justice will be served. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That pledge from President Trump earlier today after riots over the death of a man in police custody in Minneapolis.
White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany telling Fox News that the president was upset after watching video of a fatal encounter between Minneapolis police and an unarmed 46-year-old black man named George Floyd.
He ordered expedited review by the FBI. It was already under review by the FBI and the DOJ, but he ordered it in an expedited fashion. He was very upset by that tape. That was an egregious thing to watch.
The FBI was already said to be investigating Floyd's death along with local authorities. All 4 police officers involved in the incident have been fired from the Minneapolis Police Department. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
The second night of protests drew demonstrators in several cities, but in Minneapolis, there were fires, looting, and at least one deadly shooting, prompting the mayor to ask the governor to call out the National Guard, while emphasizing support for peaceful protests. He's been urging criminal charges over Floyd's death. President Trump praising the National Guard's efforts in the coronavirus pandemic, just tweeting that he plans to extend their orders through mid-August so they can continue to help states succeed in their response and recovery efforts. Earlier, he offered sympathy and love to the family and friends of those lost to the virus. Now, more than 100,000 deaths in the U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
We'll always carry them in our hearts, that big number of people. It is a scar on our nation that we could not save them.
She remains critical of the administration's response and says testing is still the answer for stopping the virus. One bipartisan effort underway in Congress would tweak the provisions of a popular program to give small businesses more flexibility and time to use their loans. America is listening to Fox News.
I hate Tom's Tulip Shop. It just smells so flowery. Like we good at your flower shop. You don't need to remind us.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
I needed a fake plant. They don't sell fake plants. Thanks for nothing, Tom.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
Then he says, have a great day. I'll decide what kind of day to have.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
We're all in uncharted territory, looking for ways to support our communities. At Dell Technologies, we're making sure small businesses have the right tech solutions. Dell Technologies advisors are here for you, from helping small businesses stay connected and productive while working remotely with Windows 10 and Microsoft Teams, to rapidly deploying remote work solutions that limit upfront costs with Dell Financial Services. We're standing by you every step of the way. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
A prominent U.S. senator and his wife may have had coronavirus.
Virginia Senator Tim Kaine says he and his wife Ann tested positive for antibodies to coronavirus. Kaine says he and his wife were not tested for COVID-19, but experienced prolonged flu-like symptoms and coughs during March and April. During that time, he says both were at home, isolated from each other. Health experts believe a positive coronavirus antibody test reduces the risk of being reinfected or infecting others, but Kaine says there is still too much uncertainty, and he will continue hand washing, mask wearing, and social distancing. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The British Prime Minister just announcing that schools can reopen on Monday and that loved ones can visit each other in small groups as more conditions for easing the UK lockdown are met. France is ready to lift a travel restriction that was aimed at containing the coronavirus outbreak there. The Prime Minister says France would be favorable to reopening its borders with other European nations beginning June 15th. However, major sporting events in France will remain suspended at least until June 21st. Some good news, though, for soccer fans who like to watch England's top league.
Premier League shareholders Thursday giving the green light to what's been dubbed Project Restart gearing the EPL up for a June 17th return after what would be a 100-day-long suspension brought on by the coronavirus pandemic. The Premier League will start back up with two fixtures, Manchester City taking on Arsenal and Aston Villa facing Sheffield United, which would take all clubs to 29 matches played. The remaining 90 matches will then continue the following weekend with the aim of completing all fixtures by August 1st, with the FA Cup final anticipated to take place a week later, with the hope that international travel is permitted. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Stocks rising. The Dow's been up over 100 points at times, but fluctuating. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
Thanks for listening to KHTS AM 1220, Canyon Country, California. K260CO 98.1 FM, Santa Clarita, California.
Your hometown station.
KHTS wants to help you save money. Go to shopkhts.com for half-price certificates to your favorite restaurants and businesses located right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. Huge savings on your favorite places. You can also buy them right here at the KHTS studio during business hours. Start saving now.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
I'm Matt Denny, CPA, with Denny & Company, LLP, your hometown CPAs. Here are some tips to help you with anxiety you may have about your income tax returns for 2019. The deadlines for filing both state and federal returns have been extended to July 15th. Both the state and the feds are also extending the time for making 2019 tax payments otherwise due, without interest or penalty, to July 15th. These details keep changing, so contact us at 661-286-8860 or see our website at dennyllp.com.
This is Bradley Gross from Santa Clarita Grocery. Santa Clarita Grocery serves fresh groceries to families, individuals, and those experiencing homelessness. At Santa Clarita Grocery, out of every dollar donated, a full 99 cents goes directly to the needs being addressed. As an all-volunteer-led organization, we operate on a 1% overhead, receiving no government funding for our operations in the community, resulting in us being one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. If you're looking to support the good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery. What is donated is specifically kept in the Santa Clarita Valley, helping over 3,000 families, including 5 other community charities. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or visit us on social media or call us at 425-7575. That's 425-7575.
Town Cleaners on Soledad is offering free dry cleaning for all first responders and medical personnel. Free pickup and delivery is also available. Call Mo at 250-1542. 250-1542. Town Cleaners on Soledad.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. A hot one today with highs in the 90s, overnight lows in the 60s. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, including the latest on COVID-19 here in the Santa Clarita area, go to hometownstation.com.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, your host. You're listening to Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. My next guest is Myles McNamara. Do you know Myles? He's doing amazing things here in our community. Myles McNamara has owned and operated Comfort Keepers in-home care in Santa Clarita since 2001. He got his bachelor's degree in business from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV. I believe that was during the time of Jerry Tarkanian, maybe toward the tail end of it, wasn't it? He is a certified senior advisor, which means additional training and studies in the area of senior service and needs. Myles recognizes that helping seniors to remain in their own home or to age in place brings with it an array of issues and challenges, not only for the senior themselves, but also to their spouses, to their adult children and other family members, their loved ones, their neighbors, their friends, and whomever else is involved in our aging loved one's life and care. His dedication to the aging population and to the community is unsurpassed. He's also a strong community leader, active with the Henry Mayo Newhall Foundation, the Valley Industrial Association, VIA, and the SCVi Senior Center and the Chamber of Commerce. Myles, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Matt. That's a cool introduction. I appreciate you.
Of course, of course. So was I right on that? Were you at UNLV during the time of Tarkanian?
Yes, I was. I got to watch him chew on his towel in person.
Oh, fantastic. You know, we could talk for hours about college basketball, especially now, but we probably won't. We've got some much more pressing and important topics to talk about with you, but I see you, Reb. So, Myles, why don't you tell us a little bit about Comfort Keepers in-home care? What's your mission? What kind of services do you provide? And most importantly, who are your clients?
Thanks, Matt. And you did a nice job with the intro, but for folks who aren't familiar with in-home care, it's a non-medical service. We are not nurses. But home health nurses found that when they would go in for an hour or less to do things doctor prescribed and they needed to leave, our seniors still needed things like maybe having a meal prepped or helping them in and out of the shower or, you know, taking them to their doctor's appointments, what we call activities of daily living. So the need for our seniors to age in place, remain independent. I mean, they're still, you know, in charge. They're the boss. We help them stay in their own home by doing that helping hand level of service that keeps them independent, keeps them safe, keeps them looked after. We do have a lot of clients who are challenged with dementia and Alzheimer's and some cognitive issues, so they really can't be left alone. So us being there, we've got some clients that we're with around the clock, but they're in their own home. And for folks familiar with dementia, it's nasty, but you know that long-term memory is the last to go. I mean, the short-term memory, unfortunately, they may ask the same question over and over and over. They may not remember even what they had for breakfast this morning. But they'll remember what, you know, their high school sweetheart dance was. They'll remember, you know, things 40, 50 decades ago. Not 40 or 50 decades, but 40 or 50 years or decades ago. So keeping them in their own home where they're familiar with the surroundings, they know where they are, they have those memories still intact. And a lot of times we see when our seniors are displaced into a nursing home or other facilities that their deterioration is exponential because now they're in a unfamiliar surrounding and such. But so our goal, our mission are to keep seniors safely in their own home with that helping hand I just talked about. And also it allows our adult children to, you know, have some anxiety release, you know, and not worry if mom, because a lot of times our adult children, they're struggling to take care of their own family and then run over to make sure mom or dad ate or took their medications or, you know, so they're what we call the sandwich generation. So, you know, for our adult kids to know that mom and dad are being looked after, that, you know, we have adult kids, you know, who live states away. And so, you know, they have that peace of mind knowing that, you know, we're checking on them daily. We're helping them with their activities of daily living and making sure everything's safe.
Well, you mentioned something important. You know, oftentimes our career will take us to another state, another region, and, you know, mom, dad don't want to necessarily move out of the place that they're in, and they stay where they're at. As you were talking, Myles, I got to thinking about my own grandmother. She passed away quite a while ago, but I remember when she transitioned, she was very, very independent. She loved being in her home, and she probably moved into a nursing facility a little bit too early in life because of where we were in our lives. My siblings and I were still in elementary and high school and too young to take care of her, and and my parents were too involved in their career and taking care of us to be able to take care of some of those daily needs. But she certainly didn't need round-the-clock medical care like we ended up paying for toward the last few years of her life. Had you been around back in the 90s, I'm sure we would have been able to take advantage of the type of care that you provide. It's super important. Are you just here in the Santa Clarita Valley, or do you offer these services elsewhere?
I have another office in Encino, so I basically cover south of Ventura Boulevard, the San Fernando Valley, all the way up through Santa Clarita and into Palmdale. But Comfort Keepers is a national franchise, so we have a pretty good footprint all across the nation. So if anybody has a loved one, just punch in the zip code; it'll punch up the office closest to you. But I service mostly Santa Clarita. I bought the Encino office about 6-7 years ago to enlarge my footprint, and then and the footprint's important for our partnerships with a lot of folks. I mean, we are proud. We have a partnership with Kaiser. They've chosen Comfort Keepers as their preferred home care provider, so that their members have some help at home. And Kaiser's actually starting to pay for a little home care. Up till real recently, home care was all private pay, but Medicare is sticking their toe in the water as far as the proactive, preventative cost measures of home care. So they've allowed some of their Advantage plans, like the Kaisers of the world, United Healthcare, SCAN, et cetera, to start paying for some home care, because the bean counters have done that analysis and said, if we pay for a little home care now, we're going to prevent a lot of injury and sickness down the road for our seniors.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The insurance companies and Medicare are learning that it's oftentimes a cost-saving expense that they're investing in. So you mentioned the clients that you serve, and I know it's not you personally. You've got a great team that works with you. But let's talk about who it is that's providing your services. Myles, is yours a licensed industry, or is this something that that anyone that has a heart to serve our seniors can get involved in?
It used to be that way as far as non-licensed, and unfortunately with that comes a lot of quality issues and training issues. So fortunately, home care became licensed about 5 years ago, which was awesome because it weeded the garden, so to speak. Because you need more than a big heart, Matt. You need training. You need to do background searches. You need procedures in place that protect not only our seniors but our caregivers as well, as far as proper training and oversight. Fortunately, we pretty much exceeded all the new licensure restrictions when they came into place anyway. But like I said, it weeded that garden. Because we're non-medical, our caregivers don't have to be nurses, but we get a lot of gals and guys that are going to nursing school. They are a CNA, a certified nursing assistant. But sometimes we have to pull the reins back on those folks to make sure they don't cross that medical line, because reminding them that we are non-medical and their second nature is to do whatever it takes. And again, we have protocols in place as far as, when things, emergencies happen. But it is a licensed industry. So everybody, there unfortunately are still people out there trying to work off the grid because it's a price point issue.
Sure.
So everyone should have what they call an HCO number, which stands for Home Care Organization. So that should be the first question anybody asks anywhere, around the state, that, are you licensed and what's your HCO number?
You mentioned that price point, and oftentimes for seniors that are on a fixed budget, that can be a major issue. Are there? I would imagine there's some serious concerns if I'm using someone to take care of mom and dad that isn't licensed, correct?
Right, and the thing is, which is a whole different show probably, is folks are unaware that the dangers they're putting not only mom and dad but their personal assets in, because if you have someone in your home as a domestic worker and they're not licensed, or they're not covered by workers' comp insurance, or and if they get hurt in your home, you are now responsible for their medical bills forever possibly. And the big thing that we're starting to see is, if families, do have some assets and they choose to hire someone privately to save a few pennies, we're actually seeing attorneys suing those families for wage and hour violations, because in all honesty, when you bring someone into your home, you become a small business. So the state of California dictates that you pay payroll tax, you provide workers' comp insurance, you W-2 that employees. Again, that's a whole different show. So I just would like our listeners to be aware that, it's a slippery slope out there when you hire somebody privately and you put yourself at risk. But also, what's the training? What's the oversight? Who's overseeing that care? So it could get very sticky. So I would caution folks to hire a licensed agency for the safety of not only your health but your assets.
Wow, I never thought about that. That's you talk about a punch in the gut. I hire you, and you don't have a license to do what you purport to be doing, and then you turn around and sue me for workers' comp or overtime or what have you. Man, that's that can be sticky.
People don't think about that, but it's a sticky wicket.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Myles, you mentioned the training that you provide your staff, and the last time you were here, you were actually in studio with me, and I learned something incredible about a service that you guys provide. You don't provide training for just your staff, do you? You provide community training as well, huh?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. What we have is what we call a Caregiver Skills Lab right in my office on Lyons Avenue. And obviously that's what we use to do the hands-on training of our caregivers and keep them sharp and vet them. But something that's really important is family caregivers. It's in the billions with a B of folks that are thrust into the role of a family caregiver because a spouse gets ill, another loved one gets ill, and they're doing the caregiving. Well, who's training that family member? So again, it's not, you don't learn these things through osmosis. So what we try to promote throughout the Santa Clarita Valley is that you don't even have to be on service with Comfort Keepers, but if you're in that role of a family caregiver, and you need to learn how to do a proper transfer or occupied bed change or ambulation assist, we will train you to do it safely. So all you have to do is call my office, schedule an appointment. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat this morning. And we will bring that person into our skills lab and give them hands-on training to how to safely perform the tasks that are needed in their environment.
Wow, that's an amazing service that you're providing, and I don't want to put you on the spot here to provide a quote, but do you have any kind of scale that you charge for those classes?
Oh, no, they're free. I'm sorry.
I knew it was. Yeah, that is amazing. You're providing those training courses for free, like you said. Whether it's for a spouse that's taking a wife taking care of her husband, a husband taking care of his wife, or adult children, you've got free classes that you provide right there on location here in downtown New Hall. And I love the location. I'm not ashamed to mention the point of reference. Can you give our listeners a bit of a point of reference of where you're at, Myles?
Yeah, we're right next to the iconic Docks Inn on Lyons Avenue, the corner of Vermont and Lyons, between Docks Inn and Bricks. So yeah, we sit right there on the corner of Vermont and Lyons, and we really encourage folks to be safe when they're caring for a loved one, and it's not only physical, I mean mental, as far as caring with a loved one, for a loved one rather, that has dementia. We have some awesome training videos. Actually, they're by Teepa Snow, who's a renowned dementia specialist, of how to interact with someone with dementia. Because a lot of times we try to stick to logic. We try to, we need to participate in their reality. So, so caring for someone with dementia can be very frustrating if you don't have the proper approach, the proper understanding of the disease. So we would encourage anybody that is caring for a loved one with dementia or Alzheimer's is again, come to Comfort Keepers if you'd like. We'd love to show you those training videos, but do your research, because you can drive yourself mad by not understanding the approach of caring for a loved one with dementia.
Yeah, definitely. And our listeners that have experience with that can relate, but those of you that aren't dealing with or working with a senior that has some of these needs, do definitely file this, because it's some important stuff that Myles is providing for our community, whether it's the care or, again, that free training that he's providing. Now, Myles, you the services that you guys provide are beyond essential. You guys are that front line providing services. I'd imagine that during this time of the stay-at-home order with the pandemic going on, the way you provide care might have shifted. How are things changing? How's the service that you provide morphing a little bit during this time?
Well, we've always been very stringent on infection control, and what we put our comfort keepers through as far as proper care, as far as gloves. Masks are more prevalent now, obviously. So we've always taken those precautions because dealing with the vulnerable society of our seniors, our caregivers, that's part of the, training is if you have a cold, if you don't feel well, do not bring germs into your client's home. So obviously now with what's going on, we've upped the game, and, masks are worn by our caregivers all the time while they're in the home. Gloves are still used on a basis of needs as far as when we're dealing with maybe changing an adult diaper or what have you. But, as we mentioned off air before the show, is I'd like folks to remember about, gloves. They are not the kryptonite to the virus. I mean, if you're wearing gloves, they're not Teflon. So the minute you touch something gloved, it's the same as touching something with your bare hands. Now, if you touch your face, if you touch another person, you are going to spread that glove. So if you feel comfortable with gloves, you need to wash those gloved hands as often as you would wash your regular hands. But folks think that once they put a set of gloves on, the kryptonite is now there and the virus wilts at all angles, and that's just not true. So don't fall into that false sense of security with gloves. You still need to wash those gloved hands or change those gloves every time you touch something that may be infected. So I would caution folks to, and the same with masks. I mean, once you put on a mask and then you touch your face with an infected hand, that mask is now infected. So you really need to stay sharp. You need to stay, focused, and these things can sneak up on you if you're not paying attention.
You mean the bacteria and viruses don't just fall right off of those things if I touch them, huh? That is interesting. Yeah. I'm with Myles McNamara. He's president and owner of Comfort Keepers In-Home Care here in Newhall as well as in Encino. It's a national chain, but he's providing services for the Santa Clarita, Antelope, and San Fernando Valley patients. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but do stick around. We will be right back with more with Myles. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
At iLEAD Agua Dulce, we believe the most important thing a child can learn in school is who they are. Life's real tests are never standardized, which is why we've developed an individual-based curriculum that values exploration, cooperation, and creativity. As our learners grow, so do we. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 7th and adding 8th grade in 2020. Your young learner will be immersed in a unique environment where possibility and self-discovery are at the core of every experience. The Agua Dulce campus features beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces for hands-on inspiration, including a robotics lab, a garden bed, a greenhouse, and a technology-based exploratorium. iLEAD Agua Dulce is conveniently located on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley, just off the 14 freeway. Check out our homeschool options too. To schedule a campus tour or learn more about our programs, visit iLEADAguadulce.org. We're enrolling now. iLEAD Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch. Full menu and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
I'm Christina Debray, licensed marriage and family therapist, your Santa Clarita Valley trauma and grief specialist. The coronavirus and the new stay-at-home orders have changed our lives significantly. On behalf of KHTS 98.1 FM, AM 1220, hometownstation.com, here's a tip to help you when your children are having anxiety that feels out of control. Decorate a shoebox and name it the Worry Box. Throughout the day, as worries come up, have your children write each worry on a Post-it and put it in the box to review later. If they continue to bring it up, say, "Thank you for reminding me. Let's keep it in the worry box and talk about this during our worry time." Schedule 15 to 30 minutes sometime during the day to sit with your child and the box and spend time being worried together and offering comfort. Stay safe, stay at home, and let's flatten the curve. I'm Christina Debray, licensed marriage and family therapist, your Santa Clarita Valley trauma and grief specialist.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCVi may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
Did you hear this? A Royal Suite Home Furnishings. Their Memorial Day sale is so big, they had to extend it all the way through Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday. Save 56% throughout the store on mattresses, dining sets, sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom sets, kids' furniture, and more. Take advantage of convenient curbside pickup. For over 40 years, Royal Suite Home Furnishings has supported the Santa Clarita community. Now it's our turn to shop local, all while saving 56%. Visit today for convenient curbside pickup at a Royal Suite Home Furnishings near Sam's Club.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. You're listening to Eye on the Valley Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson. I'm joined this morning by Myles McNamara from Comfort Keepers In-Home Care. He's providing some of that essential and much-needed care that our seniors need, who are still able to stay somewhat independent, but need some support from time to time. He's providing an amazing service that oftentimes those of us that are in what Myles refers to as that sandwich generation can't always provide, and doing some great things. Myles, I want to just clarify really quick. You mentioned before the break you guys provide non-medical services, so that's support preparing meals, just providing that life support, correct? Well, let me back off of that phrase. Not life support, but that support with life's daily needs, but not the medical needs. So you guys aren't delivering treatments or things like that, correct?
Correct. We call them, as I said, activities of daily living, or ADLs,
okay,
which basically is anything that doesn't require a medical license to do. And I think a lot of our adult children could relate if they're in the realm of caring for a parent. Everything they do as far as helping them with their personal care, helping them in and out of the shower, making sure they take their meds on time, prepping meals for them, doing their shopping, taking them to the doctors, helping out around the house with laundry and light housekeeping. So anything across the entire spectrum.
Okay. You brought up something interesting before we broke for the commercial about how your staff, they're wearing masks the entire time they're delivering these services, correct?
Correct.
So
if they're within 6 feet of our client.
Oh, I see. Okay. So if your client is in the bedroom and they're in the kitchen, perhaps preparing a meal or something like that, they may take off their mask. But when they're within 6 feet, they're wearing their mask. And so how long of a time will your employees spend in the home? And what I'm getting at, and I'll kind of pull the curtain back a little bit for you. I was reading some debate on social media last night that relates to our schools, where the CDC has recommended that kids, when they do go back to school, that they wear masks the entire time. And there were a lot of parents concerned about their kids wearing masks for an extended period of time. And so you that have experience with it, how long on end, if you were, for how long of a period is your staff wearing a mask?
Well, and again, you prefaced it by saying there's a lot of debate, and I would encourage folks not to get their news strictly from social media. There's a lot of doctors on social media, aren't there?
Sorry, Myles, I only get my news 140 characters at a time. If it's not on Twitter, I'm not reading it. I'm kidding, of course.
I think you say that in jest, but unfortunately, so many people are. And again, Rand Paul, who's a senator out of Kentucky, who is a physician, and he was kind of talking the other day about the fact that, kids, it's not absolute zero, but, it is very close to zero as far as the fatality rate of children with this. Now, they are still carriers, and that's a whole different conversation. But there's now talk about if you're wearing a mask for an extended period of time and you're inhaling all your own CO2 and you might be doing damage to your own lungs. And I mean, so again, I would encourage our listeners to vet not only your news, but your news source. I mean, we talked off air that unfortunately this is a political year.
Yeah.
So, every single news source is going to have a spin either left or right. And it's something as simple, and of course I'm oversimplifying it, as 2 + 2 = 4, will have a devastating spin to it for one side or the other. So yeah. I would just encourage people, again, this is just the world according to Myles. It's my own opinion that a lot of time the mainstream media wants us completely to always think our hair is on fire because they make their money off of clicks and viewership, et cetera, et cetera. So vet that news, but vet the news source. Get your news from many outlets. I mean, my family tells me that, I'm a news junkie because I am obviously caring for our seniors and needing to stay on top of everything. I'm vetting different sources, different stories, different, whatever the spin may be, and trying to read between the BS to find the facts in all this. So again, the mask for an extended period of time, I've heard physicians say that's not great for your lungs.
Okay.
I want to remind people it's a mask or 6 feet or more in distancing. When you violate that 6 feet, don't just throw that mask on without washing your hands first, because the minute you touch your mask with an infected hand, now your mask is doing you diddly. So we tell our caregivers, we have to maintain our own health while we're caring for the health of others.
Right.
And so it's an interesting concept to be masked the entire day. That in my opinion, from what I've heard from physicians, can't be healthy. Inhaling your CO2 all day. So again, 6 feet or more, or a mask.
Okay, so you're absolutely right. We've got to vet our news sources and get it from a variety of different sources. We've also got a lot of research to do as a society on this. We're looking at changing the way we do even our most basic things, changing the way our kids go to school, and so we're going to have to figure a lot of this stuff out. We've got a lot more research to do. Now, Myles, we mentioned just about every day on the show, as we wrap up the show with our licensed marriage and family therapist every day. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I know that your team does a great job keeping an eye on not just the physical well-being and those basic day-to-day needs of your clients, but also how they're doing mentally. What is your team noticing as they're going in to serve your clients? Are they noticing a change during this time? How are your clients dealing with the stay-at-home order and all the isolation?
And that's sort of a combination now that's putting the whole concern on steroids, so to speak, is that, that's always been a concern for our seniors, especially if they just lost a loved one of 40, 50 years recently, is the isolation, the depression, the loneliness, the despair. So that's why, companionship is one of the bullet points listed on our brochure, and that fits the undersold and undervalued part of what we do, is the loneliness of our seniors, the sadness. And now you add on top of that the fright of this nasty virus that's out there. And again, feeling it's the apocalypse, the way it's being portrayed a lot of times. And it is very, 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 very dangerous for our seniors. They are the most vulnerable demographic for this virus. So, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It deserves 13 months a year, actually, not just a month. But,
absolutely right.
And now I think, a lot of our adult kids might be saying, hey, we're doing mom and dad a solid here. We're staying away. We're making sure that we're distancing, and we're making sure we're not bringing germs into their house. Okay, take a step back now and think about the loneliness, the despair, the isolation, the fright. So we have a lot of clients that we've come on board with through this pandemic just because of that. Their kids, are, again, as we mentioned, states away. So we're taking care of those activities of daily living, but we're keeping an eye on their loneliness, on their depression, the fact that they're all by themselves, and so, yeah, that's such a huge aspect of our seniors right now because they're caged.
Yeah, definitely, and that's an important service. You're right; it's absolutely undervalued. Is providing that social interaction and contact for our seniors. Now, however, on the other side of it, I understand that you guys are providing kind of a traffic break, if you will, for all the different people that might be coming into a senior's home during a really dangerous time. Now that a lot of us are ordering out when we would otherwise have gone out, and so that means somebody else that's new that's coming to the door, and all the different services that are coming around. I understand that you guys are also providing that service of kind of helping provide a little bit of a buffer to our most vulnerable sometimes.
Yeah, and you nailed it. It's the traffic reduction. So, if we can have one caregiver that's been contact traced and we monitor daily and, check for symptoms and et cetera, if that person can be the one that, goes to the store, we're doing a lot of shopping proxy for our seniors, as we always do. But again, as I mentioned earlier, now it's on steroids. So we are that traffic in and out, a consistent, monitored, traced caregiver, rather than, all the kids, all the grandkids, all the nephews, all the aunts, all the uncles, all the friends, all the, what have you. So, yeah, you really do need to reduce the contact through this. And a lot of times that's what Comfort Keepers is right now, is we're the conduit for the families to their loved ones.
All righty, Myles, you're providing an incredibly valuable service during any time, but especially during these times. If our listeners are interested in your service there at Comfort Keepers In-Home Care, how do they enroll, sign up, get registered? Where do we go to get more information?
Well, you can call us. You can go on the internet, 661-287-4200, or next time you're having a martini at Doc's, hey, we're right next door. So again, 661-287-4200, or just go to Comfort Keeper. My dogs are going crazy. God, sorry guys, that's the thing of remoting in. I apologize.
No. I'm loving it. That is the nature of our remote world. You mentioned martini, and the dogs were ready to go.
Yeah, so or go to comfortkeepers.com. Obviously, if you're in Santa Clarita, we're right there on Lyons Avenue, or you can punch in the zip code of where your loved one is, and the nearest office will pop up to you. But again, if you need to train as a family caregiver, don't forget that free service that we offer that will train that family caregiver. So yeah, we're accessible. A first assessment is free, no charge. So if you just want to chat about the possibilities of what that would look like for your family or your loved one, we do a free assessment to come in and talk about the possibilities.
Myles, you're doing great things. We appreciate your time. We appreciate everything that you do for our seniors. Bless you and bless your team. We do have to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got Christina Debray, our licensed marriage and family therapist. I think we've got some breaking news coming up right after the break as well. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
The stress was unbelievable.
Debbie Morris is a changed woman.
A giant boulder's been lifted.
Debbie called Made for You.
I'd finished a day of work.
Professional, residential, and commercial cleaning.
Walk into my house.
Made for You.
It was an absolute pigsty.
Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or even one-time seasonal cleaning.
Our mess kept growing.
255-2922.
Even when we weren't home.
255-2922.
Made for You rescued me.
Hi, I'm Steve Cruz, and my wife and I own the local pub and grill. With 19 70-inch TVs, it's the best place in the valley to catch a game. We have a vast selection of beer, wine, and specialty cocktails to choose from, including our charity ale, where 10% of every pint we sell goes to Carousel Ranch. Our menu features classics with a flavorful twist. Come by for Taco Trivia Tuesdays at 7, Wines Day for bingo and karaoke starting at 8 p.m., and karaoke every Saturday at 9. Local Pub and Grill, right next to Bevmo on the Old Road. Support local, support community.
David Cantrell and Fred Arnold of American Family Funding joined KHTS to discuss and shed some light on how the coronavirus impacts Santa Clarita residents financially.
Okay, so Fred, people are sheltering in place or just staying home, but they're thinking about interest rates and they're thinking about their own mortgages. What can they do right now?
You're probably one of the $11 trillion in loans out there, mortgage loans out there. Half of them could easily refinance because interest rates have dropped rather dramatically. As rates have gone up just a little bit in the short term, call your mortgage professional right away, your community mortgage professional, and do a quick interview, do a quick analysis. When interest rates get to here, or here, does it make sense to refinance? Does it make sense to take cash out to cover some debt, to cover some college funds? Prepare for the future, because the future is going to get better without a doubt, number one. Some do it online, and we do have an application where you can do it all online. So if your mortgage professional is busy, ask them, do you have an application online? But it's no substitute to have a one-on-one conversation with your professional. Does it make sense to refinance? So that's the first thing you could do. The second thing is prepare your paperwork. Get your taxes completed. Know where your W-2s are. Know where your financial documents are. During these challenging economic times of uncertainty, if you, instead of cleaning out your closet, maybe clean out your financial records and know where everything is.
Right.
That would be very, very helpful. And last but not least, Dave, when you send information to your mortgage professional, make sure they send a secure link to send documents back so that the information, your private information, is not compromised.
Absolutely. That's very, very important. And we do have that link here in American Family Funding where it comes over encrypted and completely safe. So.
Absolutely. And just give us a call, or your mortgage professional will get that done.
Right.
Finding the right lawyer can be a challenge, but in Santa Clarita, there's no need to search when there's Hacker Law Group, Santa Clarita's premier litigation firm. Jeffrey Hacker has represented celebrities, financial institutions, accident victims, real estate developers, realtors, contractors, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and other individuals and companies with their legal challenges. Mr. Hacker is one of Santa Clarita's leaders, consistently listed as one of our most influential. When everything is on the line and you need legal counseling, visit hackerlawgroup.com.
The coronavirus has put us in a position of creating a new normal. Family Law at Home understands. Their goal is to meet you in the safest place possible, and these days that might be in your own home in a virtual meeting. Family Law at Home will provide you with immediate advice on your family law matters, such as divorce cases, child custody disputes, and domestic violence. It's as easy as going to FamilyLawAtHome.com. You'll choose your own consultation date and be in immediate contact with one of their esteemed attorneys. Family Law at Home handles the legal aspect while you and your family navigate the new chapter in your lives. Go to FamilyLawAtHome.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson. You're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. You know, I mentioned before the break that when we came back, we had some breaking news. There is an extremely unfortunate story in our community that is breaking at this time. Just got a text before we went to break that said, you know, Matt, when you come back, we've got a breaking news story for you. I didn't know what it was at the time. We've talked about the rough year that the folks at Saugus High School have had. All of our high schoolers, all of our students have had a tough year this year. But Saugus High School has been hit with what I thought was just about every tragedy in the book. You know, we had the fires back in the late fall, the shooting on November 14th that just devastated our entire community, and then now the pandemic that's sent all of our students home. And Saugus High School, along with the rest of the William S. Hart School District, announced just a couple days ago what their graduation would look like. So, my son and a lot of other kids being robbed of a lot of their senior experiences, and now this coming out of Saugus High School, a teacher has been arrested for inappropriate contact with a minor. You can find details on the KHTS website, hometownstation.com. Again, hometownstation.com, breaking news about the Saugus High School teacher who has just been arrested for inappropriate contact with a minor. Go ahead and check that out. I guess on our side of things, it couldn't be more perfect timing to have our next guest, Christina Debray. Christina's a licensed marriage and family therapist who's had a lifetime experience with her own trauma that she has beautifully turned into a life of service to others and supporting them with their trauma and difficulty. And interestingly, she's got extensive experience and background in the areas of adolescent interventions, including rape and other abuse. Christina, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Well, we have been mentioning all month long that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Have you got any insight or background? I'm assuming we're getting a little bit of feedback from you right now. I don't know if you're outside, maybe you can step inside. But have you got any insight about? Have you worked with kids that have dealt with this inappropriate activity with teachers and others in authority?
I mean, first of all, this is just really shocking and can be very overwhelming news. And this is not just, even if just this had happened, it would be, but this is in conjunction with everything else that's happened in the past year. So just know that, first, if you're a parent that's had a kid that's been impacted by this, first, just take a deep breath. Know that you're not alone. Know that there are answers out there, that even though we can't change the past, that your child does not have to live with the permanent side effects of abuse, that there are treatment options out there that can eradicate the symptoms, the mental health symptoms associated with abuse. For someone that has gone through assault, I mean, this is my specialty. 90% of what I see in my practice is sexual abuse, and so I all the time am dealing with every kind of sexual abuse situation, and I see people who, sometimes are able to get treatment right after the incident occurred, and sometimes have waited 20 or 30 years to get treatment. And, it doesn't matter how long you wait, that there's always a treatment option out there, and it is something that can be overcome. And, sometimes it's just, hey, I'm not ready to do that. And that's okay too. There are a lot of things online, a lot of support groups. This is quite a common problem, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And so there is a lot of support and resources available to you.
Christina, you talk about a compound or complex trauma where it's just basically, in layman's terms, one thing on top of another, right? But you mentioned something interesting. Yesterday we were talking about talk therapy and how talk therapy helps us deal with our trauma, deal with our issues. It doesn't eliminate the issue. It just helps us reframe things, which can be remarkably helpful. But you've also mentioned that there are certain types of therapies that will actually eliminate the symptoms, eliminate the issues that we're dealing with. Am I right? But this can be pretty complex and pretty difficult to deal with when we're dealing with traumas on top of traumas and things like that, right?
Absolutely. And this is something that, I think we can explore more in depth next week.
Sure.
But like I've said, part of why I've personally become so passionate about my work and the work that I do with my clients is because I was someone that lived with complex trauma for most of my life, for decades. And my parents did everything that they could to get me into therapy and get me with the right medical professionals. And even though these people were wonderful and doing their jobs correctly, a lot of the treatment that I was receiving was very Band-Aid over the wound. And it wasn't until after I had finished grad school, I had gone to a conference, and as fate would have it, I encountered a woman named Francine Shapiro, who was the creator of EMDR. She's since passed away. And I had the privilege of watching one of her presentations, and I took this leap of faith to go start EMDR treatment, and it was a shock to me. After I had gotten rid of all my trauma symptoms, I actually went into a period of grief and depression because I realized, wow, my entire life, my entire childhood, adolescence, most of my 20s, I was living with something that I didn't have to live with. And even though there are some things that we have to live with, trauma is not one of those things. I mean, we can't change the fact that it happened, but we can change how it impacts our minds and our bodies. And it's truly a gift. And so I've just become very passionate about doing this work with other people because I feel like I've had this privileged experience of healing, and I want to bring that to other people.
Yeah, I've mentioned, just about every day in your intro, how you really do. It's overly metaphorical to say that you've taken your lemons and turned them into lemonade and a lot of other lemon-related dishes, lemon meringue pie. But it is beautiful when someone like yourself does take such tragedy and loss in your own life and turned it into something that supports others. I love what you just said, that oftentimes we go through trauma and now we feel like we need to carry this trauma through our lives. My parents would tell me, that's life. You just have to learn to deal with it, but it doesn't have to be that way. Christina, you're providing amazing services to your families and to your clients. And one of the offers that you constantly give is a free 15-minute phone consultation. So I want to encourage our listeners, if you are struggling, whether it's with depression, anxiety, abuse, something that maybe you think, it's not that bad. Hey, pick up the phone, give Christina a call, chat with her for 15 minutes and see what she might be able to do for you, how she might be able to guide you. Christina's phone number is 661-513-4857, 661-513-4857. You can also check out her website at ChristinaDebray.com. We're posting that now on our Facebook feed, our Facebook live feed, ChristinaDebray.com. Whatever the issue is that you're dealing with, make sure that you get the care that you need. Christina, thank you so much for your help today. Here at KHTS, we'll continue to follow that story as it develops. Just more tragedy coming out of Saugus High School as one of their staff members was arrested today for inappropriate contact with a minor. That is all the time that we have for today. I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank our guests, Allison Bravo and Rigo Ortega from iLEAD Online, providing schools starting in July and their online courses, as well as Myles McNamara from Comfort Keepers In-Home Care and Christina Debray, our show's official licensed marriage and family therapist. Join us again tomorrow at 9 a.m. We've got some exciting senior news, not the older senior, but the graduating senior type, as well as more fun with Big T. You're listening to your hometown station, KHTS.